Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next video. And well, it's finally time. I know I've been a month late though, but like I said, I was doing other movie reviews and other stuff. But finally, I had a chance to get around my top worst of 2024. So yeah, and 2024 was a lot of shitty movies that came out last year. I mean, I needed a top 10 because there were so many other films that I saw that were shit. I had to break it down to 10 because there were, if there would have been like a top 20, a top 20 films that I disliked. I mean, if not 25, I would put. Yeah, so 2024 was another shit year, It was so much. I mean, I'll do another video separate, of course, of my best films of last year, though. But there were more crap films I saw last year than I did the more than I liked. I mean, so just really quick, I'm not gonna get the details on these. Here's some dishonorable mentions. Some of them I may have reviewed. I have reviewed, but there maybe there was a couple I consider there was a couple I consider put on my list, but instead I put these as dishonorable mentions. So here are some of the dishonorable mentions. Just going really quick before I get to my official top 10. So first off, Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. The only been the good ones were the first two. Not a fan of their I hate the 2016 film, and I don't like the 2021 film. So Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire, no. The First Omen, prequel to the original Omen, unneeded, not wanted. Bad Boys 4, I enjoyed the first three. I mean, the third film, Bad Boys for Life, was a surprise, But the fourth film, it wouldn't be long before one film will mess up the franchise, but no franchise is perfect. But Bad Boys 4 I did not like. Furiosa, the prequel to Mad Max Fury Road, I mean, George Miller, I do appreciate still some of the practical stuff he still did, though, but Chris Hemsworth, stop taking on goofy acting, or in roles that you act all goofy and stuff like that. Chris Hemsworth, just stop that, okay? Be more serious. Take on more serious roles, please. Stop acting, like the Extraction movies, okay? I like those films, but stop doing roles where you're acting all goofy and over the top. So, Furiosa. I reviewed this one, but it's not. I didn't put it in my top list though. But Night Swim with the haunted swimming pool. It's being so serious, Next, these other ones I also reviewed. Trap from M. Night Shyamalan once again. I mean, Josh Hartnett I like. That was cool. He's getting more lead roles though, but it's M. Night, okay? Yeah, I actually did like Knock at the Cabin, okay? How many he's made since in years? No. So this is another one added to the list. Trap. The Front Room. I know, like I said, it's Brandy. Once again from A24. But I reviewed that one, so. Abigail, the vampire film, which another one I was not a fan of. Godzilla, Godzilla Kong, the new Empire. I also reviewed that one. Not a fan of either. I mean, the only good ones in that series to me was Kong Skull Island and then Godzilla King of the Monsters. Next, Smile 2. Wasn't a fan of the first one because I never thought that smiling was so scary, So, Smile 2. This one I also do review. I was considering it might be in my top 10, but like I said, these other ones are my official top 10. I thought were much worse than this. Borderlands. I mean, I already reviewed Borderlands, but like I said, I've seen films that are much worse. This film got ridiculed up and down, up the ass, you know, shredded by everybody, hated by everybody. But like I said, the films I've seen I thought were much worse than Borderlands. So I reviewed that one. Then Venom 3, The Last Dance. Stop. Well, they say it's the last Venom, but Tom Hardy says less. But you know what? Never say never, because there's always gonna be a chance. Whenever I say they're never gonna do it again, there's always a bullshit reason to keep on going. You know. So if Tom Hardy says never, he's not the last time, that's false. Okay. They're always gonna bring him back at one point or another. Maybe for, I don't know, when they do another crossover with the Avengers Secret Wars and stuff like that. I don't know. But Venom 3, I mean, Kraven the Hunter, you know, I was not a fan of, but at least, you know, that's another dishonorable mention. Kraven the Hunter as well, which I reviewed though. You know, Kraven the Hunter, at least with it did it with the R rating and what we did with the blood and violence and stuff more than the Venom films ever did, you know. So, and then this other film, which this is an actual title, so please don't ridicule me on this, because this is an actual title. So, it's a film called American Society of Magical N-word, you know, Negroes. Sorry, I'm sorry I offended everybody if I said the word though, but that's in the actual title. Yeah, American Society of Magical Negroes. Why is that in the title? I mean, I can say about this one, but I haven't reviewed this one, but maybe I will down the line. But don't blame it on me. It's in the actual title though, so that's not my fault. But that's another one. That was another crap film. So, and there's another one called The Killer. It's from John Woo. You know, he remade his own movie. Why would he do that? I have no idea. I mean, I like the original of The Killer. Why would John Woo, who I enjoy as a director, remake his own movie? I have no idea. I love Broken Arrow. I like Paycheck, I think it's underrated. I even like Face Off. Not my favorite of his though, but overall I do like Face Off though. Hard Boiled. I like John Woo, but why would he remake it? And The Killer too. I mean, why would he remake his own movie? I have no idea. I even like his other new one, Silent Night, with Joel Kinnaman. I like. I don't know, John. Well, what were you thinking of remaking your own movie? So yeah, that's pretty much the dishonorable mentions. So now we'll officially get into my top 10 worst. So here's my official top 10. Number 10, I talked about this film already, and that is of Gladiator 2. So I won't give much details in this one because I reviewed this film. Yeah, so for films I've already reviewed, I won't give much details of the ones on my list. Because you can just go back on my reviews and check them out, though. Yeah, but Gladiator 2, why so many years later they need a sequel to this? And really, Scott needs to stop making big epic movies, because every one he's done, except for the first Gladiator, which I think he got lucky on, though. Every single one he did on these big epic films have bombed. I mean, The Last Duel, Napoleon, 1492, the one about Christopher Columbus, Kingdom of Heaven, the what was it, the one with Christian Bale, Joel Edgerton? It was Gods and Kings? Gods and Kings. The last it was an Egyptian film with Christian Bale. Exodus, Gods and Kings, I think it was. That film bombed. So I mean, Ridley Scott needs to stop making these big epic movies, you know, because they don't do that well, at all. But Gladiator, that was the one that was probably the most successful, and it got an Oscar nods. But this film, why was there a sequel needed that no one asked for? and with a huge budget, and the film bombed, as I predicted. Yeah, it made about 400 million worldwide, but the thing is, though, it cost like around 300 million, and that's including marketing as well. So overall, that's not breaking even. So it didn't do that well. Overall, the film bombed. Really, Scott, just stop making big epic movies, please. I just like we make films like back when you did the first Alien. I even like Blade. I like Blade Runner, Fallen Down. Oh no, it wasn't Fallen. It was Black Rain. Sorry, Black Rain with Michael Douglas. There was another film with Michael Douglas I was mentioning, Falling Down. That's another good one too. But Black Rain, Blade Runner, Alien. I wasn't a fan of American Gangster. The last good one he did that was worth a shit, that was The Martian with Matt Damon. That was the last good one he did that was worth a shit. So yeah, Ridley Scott. That's why I prefer his late brother, Tony Scott, was much better director than him, because I like more films that he did than Ridley Scott did. So. But yeah, Gladiator 2, I mean, the guy who played, the lead guy, Paul Pascal, I mean, maybe he was doing the best he can, but it was the script he was given to do. Denzel Washington, I enjoy. He's a great actor. He's not the worst part, but I'm sure it was a huge paycheck for him because he got to work with Ridley Scott again because of American Gangster. Pedro Pascal, he's starting to be like Bill Skarsgård, like with Dwayne Johnson, Sam Jackson. They're appearing in everything, you know. I mean, I like Pedro Pascal, but he's starting to just appear in everything now. Best thing he did was The Mandalorian. So, yeah, but Gladiator 2, it was a long sequel that did not need to be made. So that's number 10. Number 9, this is the one of the Sony films that's been laughed and mocked at, Madam Web. That's number 9, Madam Web. This is the one, like I said, it was just beyond laughable. I know that, and well deserved, because everyone, ever since they saw the trailer, this film has been mocked, memed. I mean, the characters are forgettable, nothing, you know, just... I mean, especially these Sony's making these mistakes of doing these films without Spider-Man in it. Yeah, they mention him, or any nods, but it doesn't work without Spider-Man. Like, Kraven the Hunter flopped, right? But, and yeah, and I would still say Kraven the Hunter is much better than the Venom movies, or this film, or Morbius, because at least it did go with the, like I said, with the violence, the R rating. At least it did that, you know, which is better than some things like they just, because everything that the other ones were just PG-13, you know, and just, but this film, like Dakota Johnson, I don't like the 50 Shades films. I don't. But I mean, the villain, I mean, he gets taken out by a freaking Pepsi logo. So basically, the heroes don't even defeat him. He gets taken out by a freaking Pepsi logo. And also the whole thing with the visions of all the girls in their Spider-Women costumes, you know, that's only in a vision. That doesn't actually happen in the movie. They don't dress up in the movie. It only happened in a vision. So that was like kind of like a misleading in the trailer, because it was only in a vision. So they don't actually suit up in the movie. So because they're trying to set for a sequel. Well, good luck with that. That film also bombed as well. And it's just I don't know what Sony is dealing with, because, like I said, it doesn't work without Spider-Man in it. If Spider-Man was in it, maybe it would not have saved the movie, though, but at least people would say, hey, these Spider-Man... I mean, the trailer for this, of course, they was mocked because of the whole line of, oh, my mother was in the jungle somewhere and studying spiders, and... Oh, and Kraven the Hunter, I mean, his biggest fear was spiders, get it? Is a Spider-Man. And then the whole thing with Morbius, which was connected to the Venom movies. And then Venom, of course, which they mocked that up with they ruined that with the ending of Flip the Carnage, with the whole thing being in the MCU. So that They had an opportunity to do kind of like a proper Venom Spider-Man film, but they blew that, you know. You had your chance, and you blew it! So, I don't know what Sony is doing, you know. So, but out of all the ones, I mean, Madam Web, I think is pretty much the one is left the most, more. So, and unless you're a Venom film, the rest of the films didn't do that well. I mean, Kraven bombed badly, this film bombed badly, even Morbius didn't do that well. It's not that huge hit either, so I'm glad they canceled all these other films after when Kraven bombed, you know. They said they're not going to do any more. Thank God. So, yeah, so Madam Web, that's number 9. I already viewed that film, so number 9. Number 8, another one I reviewed this film. Another useless remake, The Crow. So, yeah, I've also reviewed this film as well. So, The Crow, you know, as another one I also predicted that was also going to flop, and it did. I mean, all these years spent in development, and guess what? At the end of the day, it wasn't worth it because the film bombed. All that time of developing was wasted. Like I said, I'm tired of seeing Bill Skarsgård. You know, I'm tired of him being everywhere. Like I said, I mean, the chemistry between him and what was it, FKA Twigs, who I had not even heard of until I saw this. The chemistry between them is non-existent. The villain, played by Danny Houston, was lame. CGI blood, you know, even Kraven the Hunter did that, but at least it acknowledged, like I said, it acknowledged on the R rating of those films, like, more than those Venom films ever did, because they were PG-13. But here, CGI blood, I mean, The Crow doesn't actually... You don't see actually a crow pop up that much, you know, but... And how the way they escaped from that, was it hospital or rehab center, like, the easiest way to escape, because there were basically no security at all. You could just walk out the front door and they would not have noticed, you know? That's how great their security was when they just easily left together, but... It was forgettable, boring, and like I said, it was a useless remake that didn't need to be made, and guess what? The film flopped, and guess what? All that time, energy, and money was wasted. I knew it was going to flop, and guess what? I was right. So that was number 8. Number 7, Beetlejuice. I enjoyed the first film. You know, even Michael Keaton, with the limited screen time he had as a Beetlejuice, he was still fun. You know, and with the cast was better, and a lot of good practical stuff, fun humor, and it was well directed by Tim Burton. But when Tim Burton comes back to direct this film, granted, which it proved me wrong, because the film made a shitload of money, over $400 million worldwide, so I guess I'm in the wrong on that, though, because the film it was a hit. It made money. So I guess I was wrong on that, though. But I mean, Winona Ryder doesn't, you know, she looks like she doesn't want to be there. I mean, she looks bored, and basically with her character, nothing has changed. You know, nothing has changed for her character. I mean, why she had PTSD after the first film? I mean, like I said, why would you have such PTSD when at the end of the first film you were totally fine floating up in the air when you're dancing with ghost football players to, you know, listen to a Harry, what was his last name? You know, shake, 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 Sonora, shake it all the time. Whoa, 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 work it all the time. You know, that song by Harry, I forget his last name, though, but I know him, I know who he sings, though, but that song. She was totally fine with that, but now she has totally PTSD, and by the end of the film, nothing has changed for her character. Jenna Ortega, she was better off being as Wednesday. That's because, you know, I don't like her in the Scream movies. Here she was obnoxious and bratty. And the whole thing with Jeffrey Jones's character, yeah, because he's a pedophile, like I mentioned before, but they keep mentioning his character is brought up so many times in this movie. Because they don't want him back, so they had to kill him off, but he's back like, oh, because he has no head, because he got bit by a shark, so you had to see his face, though. But the fact that they mention his characters all the time, that's why I think Jeffrey Jones got paid the money. I'm like, he shouldn't, though, because he's a freaking pedophile. He shouldn't deserve that money. And Michael Keaton, he does have his moments. He was doing his best as Beetlejuice. I mean, he does have has some funny moments in there, which I'll give him that. Because after all, it's Michael Keaton. I'm a big fan of Michael Keaton. Big fan of his. Great actor. So he's not the worst part of the movie. To me, overall, I would say he's the best part of the movie. He does have his moments as Beetlejuice. But there's things that we've seen from the first one before. Which, I mean, so there was nothing new or different creative compared to the first film. I mean, we saw the sand dune worms, which they were still stop motion animation, which I do appreciate, There were still some practical effects, which another thing I do appreciate, though, but years later, like I said, like with the Bad Boys 4, or... I mean, like I said, there are exceptions to the rule. There are a couple of long sequels that come out years later, which I enjoyed. Like Bad Boys 3 for life. Beverly Hills Cop 4 I enjoyed. That was from last year, which I enjoyed. So there are exceptions to the rule of films coming out years and years later. But like I said, there are some exceptions though. Most of the time they suck. This is another one of them though, but it was a huge hit for Tim Burton though. I'm sure probably get another film maybe though, but I did not like Beetlejuice. A lot of people like the film. I was not a fan of, okay? To me, Beetlejuice 2 sucked. Overall. So, that's number 7. Number 6. Another one that I didn't review, though. But I was going to for Halloween month, but I never got around to. But Mousetrap. It's another one of those films which I'm tired of this whole I really am getting tired of this whole gimmick of taking these characters and put them in the public domain and making these low budget horror films, which in this case Mousetrap, it's a killer Mickey Mouse. I mean, I'm really excited. I'm tired of this, I mean, they did Winnie the Pooh. And they're doing it they're coming out with a Bambi, Peter Pan, they're doing a Popeyes, and then with this, and then I also reviewed the Mean One. That was the Grinch horror film. Which that's not part of it though, but they just did their own thing on that though. But I reviewed that, it was horrible. And I think even ones with the Winnie the Pooh, Peter Pan, Bambi one, they're gonna put them all in the same. Once again, that's not. They always. Does every franchise have to have a cinematic universe in their own franchise? I know the MCU started that, but it's like, does everything have to have at their own cinematic universe nowadays? It's another thing I'm getting tired of, I mean, Universal tried that with the Universal monsters with Tom Cruise's The Mummy, and that failed. And guess what? They canceled the whole entire thing. So, but they were going to do that though, because with the Bride of Frankenstein, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and guess what? I saw the Invisible Man from 2020. I thought was much better though, but they tried to make us cinema reviews and that failed. So I'm getting tired of this gimmick. Not everything has to be a cinematic universe, but this whole gimmick of taking these characters and putting them in the public domain. I'm just getting tired of this crap. Because how they make these. It's not funny. I mean, it's low budget, so it's gonna be almost kind of like cheap looking. I mean, yeah, even the second Winnie the Pooh film had a little more bigger a budget than the previous one did. But which I've not seen though. So, but I did not like the first one though. Definitely not. So I'm getting tired of this whole gimmick of doing this gimmick or trend, you can call it. And this one is another one of those, Mousetrap, where you have this whole thing, this girl working in an arcade, it's her birthday, and some other friends are there. This guy who worships Steamboat Willie, for some reason it comes alive, I have no idea, and it kills people, and then by the end, it kills the lead girl. Oh, what a shock, kills the lead girl, oh. And I guess also it can also teleport as well, because it's funny, it can do this, but it can't do that, and then it can teleport. Oh, it's here. Oh, now it's over there. Man. Oh, by the way, they're doing another Mickey Mouse horror film. What was it called? Screamboat Willie. I guess also David Thornton Howard, the guy who played Art the Clown from the Terrifier films, which he also played the Grinch in the Mean One, right? He's also playing this other killer Mickey Mouse. I think that's the one that's coming out. It's called Steamboat or Screamboat Willie, I think it was. So they're coming out another one with the guy who played Art the Clown in it, and the Grinch. Or sorry, the Mean One. So, but this one it sucked, So I was gonna review this. I was gonna review this one for Halloween month, but I never got around to do it though. But if I do, I'll save it for this year's upcoming Halloween month though. But Mousetrap, God, I'm so tired. I'm so goddamn tired of this. It's a trend, and not only it's a trend of doing these, but it's a gimmick, It's like, hey, what can we do? Make a public domain character as a cheap horror film, slasher, Winnie the Pooh, Peter Pan, Popeye. I mentioned Popeye. They're doing one with a Popeye. They did it with the Grinch, and then what else? I think they're doing a Mary Poppins as well. I'm like, oh wait, even a Cinderella. They're even doing Cinderella as well. I'm like, crimey, They're taking all these characters and just. What's so great about these? I've seen the Winnie the Pooh one, first one, and then this one, and the Mean one. Low budget, like I said, we try to do funny. It's not humor. It's not funny, and it's low budget, So it kind of has like that cheap looking feel to it, though. So yeah, so Mousetrap. So that is number 6. I don't know, but I'm definitely gonna look forward to the other ones when they come out. Number 5, Megalopolis. From Francis Ford Coppola, which I'm glad this film bombed. Because, first of all, fuck Francis Ford Coppola. He's a piece of shit anyway, okay? He's a piece of shit because he's a guy who he loves pedophiles. Because he defended Victor Salva, as I said before, Victor Salva's the guy who directed the Jeepers Creepers movies. The guy is a pedophile, especially that film he did with a film called Clown House, who did with a kid, He's a piece of shit. And Francis Ford Coppola supported him, defended his ass, okay? I think he threatened that kid, I think. It was like, oh, you will never work in film again. Fuck you, Francis Ford Coppola. No, to me, in my book, or anybody with common sense, nobody should defend pedophiles. Nobody should be able to defend guys who likes little kids. It's sick, alright? And yet, Francis Ford Coppola defended this guy's ass. His buck buddy, Or should I say fuck buddy, there you go. So, Francis Ford Coppola, fuck you, you're a piece of shit for that, and I'm glad your film bombed. Okay? Because no one saw, because it was so convoluted, confusing, and complicated, I couldn't understand what this whole movie was. I'm not big on him as a director anyway. I did not mind a couple of films. I did not mind Apocalypse Now. I did not mind The Outsiders. But I'm not big on his Godfather films. I know, shame on me. I know. He did that comedy film with Robin Williams called Jack. I was not a fan of. I know there was another film he did. I forget though, but I think I did not care for that film either. But I'm not big on him overall as a director though. There are other directors who hardly get a chance are better directors than him. But this guy, I mean, he put his own money into this film. The whole budget was his own money. And guess what? The film bombed so badly, made what, $14 million? That's it, on a budget of $120 million. And plus, especially, there's another film like The Crow remake that spent years in development. Same with this film. This was his passion project he had trying to develop for like over 20 years. And look at it. Look at the payoff. It bombed badly. Because no one saw the film. I mean, what explainable about the plot of this film is that Adam Driver, he's a guy who likes to build buildings. He wants to build like the next type of Roman Empire type city with his magical artifact. I mean, I have to review that film because I didn't review the film because the film was so confusing, convoluted, and complicated. It's gonna take me time to watch that film because I didn't fully understand what was going on. Although I do remember that, like, by the end of the film, Jon Voight shot Shia LaBeouf in the ass with a bow and arrow. That's one that sticks in my mind. Oh, and Dustin Hoffman's character, this whole time, he's dead. We find out that we all find out that he was in a flashback that he died from rubble. Oh, this whole time, he was dead. Oh, thanks for letting me know because that's the other thing. This whole thing, it was this story's being told. Oh, Dustin Hoffman the whole time he was dead. I mean, it was a waste of a cast as well. I also had John Carl Esposito. You had Lawrence Fishburne, Aubrey Plaza, like I said, Jon Voight, Shia LaBeouf, Dustin Hoffman, Adam Driver, John Voight. A whole cast has been wasted, and no one stole the film because it bombed badly. Like I said, I'm glad this film bombed. So Francis Ford Coppola. So I'll review this film down the lines eventually. But fuck Francis Ford Coppola. He's a piece of shit, Oh, and I think even more than that to him. I think while making this movie on set, I think he was like touching women. I think, or whatever the case may be, it shows he's even more of a bigger scumbag than he is. So all of that, and then defending pedophiles like Victor Salva. Francis Ford Coppola, you're a piece of shit, okay? I'm glad your film bombed. Your film sucked anyway. So, fuck that film, and fuck Francis Ford Coppola. So number 4, which this one I did. The rest of these films I reviewed. So number 4, Longlegs. This film I just don't get what the praise was for this film. I don't. I really don't. Why this film got so much praise for? Because I thought it was a boring film. The lead girl, I liked her in It Follows, but sometimes she made such stupid decisions, and then her whole psychic ability doesn't get brought up until when it's convenient later at the end of the movie. I mean, she could have used this whole thing, but only when it's convenient, though, right? Her whole so-called psychic ability. I mean, they couldn't help it for the rest of the film, but only by the end when it's convenient, though. And so she's making such stupid decisions when she's being shot at. Yeah, but stand behind the window where you're being shot at. Well, that's good protection, right? And Nicolas Cage. I mean, I like Nicolas Cage. I've been liking some of the projects he's been doing the past few years, But in this case, yeah, the guy is known for being over the top. Okay, we all know that though. But in this case right here, he was horrible miscast. And he was doing over the top in a bad way, not in a good way like I've seen he does from his previous films. He was doing it in such a bad way, and he was just badly miscast for this. And this guy, this person who's directing this film, he's directing that new coming Stephen King film called The Monkey, which I saw the trailer for. This film, I would probably say this is probably one of the most overrated films of 2024. I just never understood understood the praise for it though. I never did. And it was trying to be like a wannabe, like in the vein of Sounds of the Lambs with this whole mystery, you know, and to me it sucked, you know, okay? People enjoy the film, that's fine, but to me it's overrated, it's boring, and it sucked, okay? In my opinion. So, which I said, I reviewed this film, so go check it out. So that's number 4, Longlegs. Number 3, Joker 2, which again I reviewed. Joker 2, I mean, Todd Phillips, I don't know what director Todd Phillips was thinking, because I liked the first Joker film. You know, it was a pretty good film. It was one of the better DC films I saw over the past few years, you know. In 2019, yeah. And Joaquin Phoenix did a good job in that film. But here, I don't know what Todd Phillips was doing, but he does a complete 180 of what the first film was. Number 1, yes, making it a musical, that's mistake number 1, okay? No one wanted to see a Joker film and make it into a musical. That's number 1. Number 2, everything what Joker was doing in the first film, it was like, It was almost like it was like retconned in a way. Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, to me she was much better when she was in the film called Star Was Born. She was good in that film. I think, to me, I wouldn't say in this film she was phoning it in, though, but it was not her best performance either. And the whole thing, we see the Joker get raped, you know, because Brendan Gleeson, who was a good actor, as one of the prison guards, you know, raped him in the shower. Yeah, we need to see a Joker film get that, you know. And the whole thing with the court drama and like the musical, I mean, the film had a much bigger budget than the first film did, more than twice. Why the hell this film cost $200 million while the first one cost like $55 million? Like I said, it was such a complete 180, it was the complete opposite of the first film was. A complete opposite. And guess what? The film bombed. No surprise there, because due to bad word of mouth, the film bombed. And guess what? It deserved it. Another huge flop for Warner Brothers, and another huge flop from DC. So yeah, Joker 2, Folie de Deux, whatever I call it in the French word, you know. It was a big, you know, just Todd Phillips, you're an idiot. You made a good film, and you just do a complete 180. So that's number 3. Number 2. This is the one that the films that pissed me off more. Like Longlegs, I would say is the most overrated. I would say of last year. But the film that pissed me off more, the film that pissed me off the most, that angered me the most. Number 2, Alien Romulus. Once again, what would do with this Alien franchise? I'm tired of. They need to stop making many more Alien films. No more Predator films, which they're doing another one. Which I said, no more Predator films, no more Alien movies. Because I mean, what more can you do with this franchise? Oh, it takes place between the first and the second film. Big deal. But the things that happen in the film, you borrow elements from other films, and it's like, you're basically stealing from this movie, you're stealing from that movie, you know. I mean, the lead girl I did not like. The best character in the film was the guy who played her brother, the android. You know, he was the best character in that movie. Actually, he was pretty good in that film. I'd rather follow him than the lead girl was, you know. And stupid shit, you know, just like, like I mentioned before, but the guy who got acid was dripping on him. Yeah, it takes him like 5 freaking seconds to react. Oh, acid's on me, you know. I'm like, it's human instinct. When something hot touches your skin, you react instantly, you know. Like, But no, it takes him like when it's dripping on his legs or all parts of his clothing. You know, it takes him like 5 to 10 seconds to like, oh, as is on me. You know, you're an idiot. You know, I made it as a joke when I reviewed Shaun of the Dead from last year. When I revisited the film for its anniversary, I made a joke of it because of that part, though. Because I mean, Simon Pegg, when he got the dart to the head, he reacted instantly. You know, he screamed out full out in pain. Ow! That's how you react when something is because it's pain. You know, right? It's instant. So I was making a joke of that when I reviewed that film, when I mentioned this film, you know. I mean, just like stupid, like, oh, ass is on me. 10 seconds later, ah! And so stupid, and this. The things that we've already seen before, bits and pieces we saw before, but they took from parts of other Alien movies. Oh, a swarm of CGI facehuggers. But when it's up close, you know, the practical effects I do appreciate, okay? But since I'm not big on this this director anyway, I'm not a fan of the 2013 remake of Evil Dead. Don't Breathe. More I think about, I'm not a fan of that film either. Don't Breathe. And yeah, you get this guy to direct an Alien movie. I mean, just the only ones that have been worth a shit were the first two ones. After that, Alien 3, to me, is still the worst one. Alien Resurrection sucked. I hate the Prometheus and Alien Covenant films. Those are really, yeah. I think of, Ridley Scott I mentioned, yeah. Those are his two worst movies. The only good ones are the first two films, Alien and Aliens. That's all you need, okay. The franchise went to shit after that. And this film was no exception. This film just angered me the most. This is the film that made me anger the most, though. But I can't compete with number one. But number two, which did I review Alien Romulus? I don't think I did. Shit. No, I didn't. That's right. So I'll have to get more detail on that. If I were to rewatch that film again, I'll have to review that film. Yeah, that's right. I think about it. I did not review Alien Romulus. See, that's how forgettable that film was. I forgot about that movie, you know? So yeah, that's number two. So that film pisses me off more. Alien Romulus. Fuck that film. And the number one film, I thought about the film it was tossed between Alien Romulus and this film. But the more I think about it, you know, like, yeah, Alien Romulus pissed me off more, but this film was I still stand by my decision. This film was the epitome of being a bunch of nothing, where literally nothing freaking happens. So the number one film is Sasquatch Sunset. I saw the film. I think I'll stand by the film that the film was the worst film of this year, 2024, because, like I said, it's the epitome of nothingness. Because nothing happens in the movie. It doesn't even have an ending in it. I mean, first of all, this director, I have no idea, but the producer, Ari Aster, you know, Ari Aster is the guy you got the guy who directed Hereditary and Midsommar and Beau is Afraid. He didn't direct it though, but he produced it though. So that's one thing. I knew this one was gonna suck because his name's on it. But I'm not big on this. I don't know who of this director either though. But and the cast, man, there's only the four, right? One of them is freaking Jesse Eisenberg, which I'm like, that's especially weird to see him though. Which I'm not overall big on. I like him in Zombieland, but The Social Network I'm not a fan of. I know he definitely sucked as Lex Luthor in Batman v Superman. So, but the whole thing, this and nothing happening. Always they just basically they're just walking around the woods, and one of the most memorable thing about the film for me is that they find a road, you know, a concrete road, right? They're scared of the road. They piss on it. They shit on it. Milk titties, milk titties on the road. And they freaking jack off of the road. That's basically the most memorable thing they got. They jack off, milk titty the road, shit on the road, piss on the road. And then, even the two surviving Sasquatch, the female ones, because the other two died. They're like, oh, okay. I think it was Jesse Eisenberg, the one who drowned, and then the other one, I think something fell on him, I think. But in the ending, it was basically not even an ending, because they go to a shop, they see like a kind of like a statue of Sasquatch, and the movie ends. So basically, overall, nothing happens in the movie. It's not even an ending. Nothing happens in the movie. So that's why this is such a waste of time and space. I mean, it is. I've never seen such a boring movie. If I had to make a list of the top most boring movies, I'll put this on there because it was so boring because nothing happens. I was like, yeah, no, screw it. Nothing fucking happens. Literally, nothing happens. What more can I say about this film? Nothing happens. No ending. And the best part, the most memorable thing that, if people remember, is, like I said, about what they do on the road, They shit, piss, jack off, and milk titty the road. That's all basically, the only thing that basically happens in the movie, and that's it. They're scared of the road. Because they're Sasquatch, because they don't know anything, so they don't know what a road is, so yeah. That's your option, just, I'm tired of seeing Ari Aster's name on everything now. I hate Hereditary, I hate Midsommar, I hate Beau is Afraid. Even this film, when he produced the film, not directed, but produced it, still he sucked. Please just stay away from movies, please. Don't make any more. Whether you're directing or... but that's one thing I'm tired of saying, because when it comes to his films, which... It's good shots of locations. That's the only thing I can say about the other movies, though, but that's the only good thing that's going for this guy. So I'm tired of giving the same thing for this guy in his films. Good shooting locations, that's it. Just get away from films, please, Ari Aster. Please stay away. Stay away from me, please. Stay away from me. So yeah, this is number 1, Sasquatch Sunset. Nothing. A big pile of nothing, or a bunch of nothing. Yeah, 2024 was another shit year. I mean, there was including not only my top 10. But also the dishonorable mentions. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention more dishonorable mentions. That's how bad this film was. This year was. There was a film called Peter 20. Was it Peter 58? Yeah, Peter 58. That was it was a film that starred Kevin Spacey. The first one he did, and ever since the whole scandal thing, that sucked. Another one was this Western film called Taken from Rio Bravo. That's another one that sucked. If I was about Rio Bravo, I'll just go watch the Rio Bravo one with John Wayne. I really will go watch that film, Rio Bravo, with John Wayne. That's actually much better because it's John Wayne the Duke. My dad's all-time favorite actor, John Wayne. I've seen quite a few films with John Wayne. Watching with my dad, from Rio Bravo, The Searchers, El Dorado. She Who Wore the Yellow Ribbon, The Alamo, Red River. I like John Wayne, and I've been watching it quite a few times with my dad over the years about John Wayne, If I want to watch a better Western film with Rio Bravo, I'd rather watch that film than this film from Taken from Rio Bravo. And the other one, Peter 58 too, as well. So there's about 20 or maybe there's 20 over 25 films I disliked from last year. more than the films I like this year, because I only have, what? Yeah, probably like 13 or so. That's not good, you know? So yeah, there's way more films I hated in 2024 than films I like. So yeah, 2024 was another shit year. So for my top 10 list, going down the line again, Gladiator 2, Madam Web, The Crow, Beetlejuice 2, Mousetrap, Megalopolis, Longlegs, Joker 2, Alien Romulus, and then Sasquatch Sunset. And I mentioned about all the other dishonorable mentions, like I said, Kraven the Hunter. See, that's why I feel like burping on all these movies. Burp on all of them. Borderlands, Venom 3, Abigail, Smile 2, Front Room, Trap, Godzilla Kong, Night Swim, Bad Boys 4, Furiosa, it goes on. Oh yeah, the American Society of Magical Negroes. Sorry, but that's in the title. I wouldn't be lying. I want to say that if it's in the actual title. Why is that an actual title? I have no idea. But yeah, those are dishonorable mentions. Then that's my top 10 worst films of 2024. So that's that. So, and eventually I'll eventually get around to do my top best films of 2024, which that'll be a sign of relief, you know. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time on the next video. More movie reviews and such. And we'll see you next time. Later. And fuck all these films. All the ones I mentioned. Again, just dive into a hole. Go to hell for what I care. Bye-bye.